News is coming in. Vijay Mallya refuses to speak to the press after hearing in court in the UK. He came to the court that was hearing his extradition plea. The argument submitted by the defence against Vijay Mallya was to be heard today. Now the prosecution has to respond. Hearing starts on the 4th of December, supposed to go on till the 11th. We have Lavinia Tannen, who's with us.
I am not here to make any predictions. I'm sure you will be at the hearing, so you will see what's going on.
Vijay, is it true the central plank of your defence is that you feel Indian jails are unsuitable for you?
I'm not going to comment. You can hear all the arguments, and there are many, let me assure you.
Ready for your day in court, Mr. Mallya? Have you anything to apologise?
I don't want to make any further comments when the judicial matter is in trouble.
Do you feel this is a politically motivated act,
That's none of your
Vijay?
business.
Vijay, is this a politically motivated act?
So what about allegations about
I have said all the allegations are baseless and fabricated.
So but there are also talks about the way you bought your mansion in court trial and also...
Really?
Yes, of course, sir.
Good luck. You've done a great
Even
job.
Diageo has put a case against you, Mr. Mallya. What do you have to say about that?
Come to court and hear it all.
So in the last hearing, the judge also turned away the extradition, talking about the prison conditions. What are your thoughts on that, and do you think that's going to make any difference, sir?
You know, Jonathan, I fear for your safety, man.
Me too. That's what I'm saying.
I'm a journalist.
Miss
Walking
Mallya, is it
backwards is
true
my
that there were
job.
fresh
Are you happy
cases,
Are you okay
fresh
with the
withdrawals
fourth
going from a bank in April of this year?
Please, I'm not going to say anything else. Please come to court and witness the hearing yourself.
So the state is also planning to have a guest house could be turned into a jail, just to ensure that you don't have that excuse of prison conditions being bad.
Travel is famous now.
So what do you think about that, sir?
Could we come along for an
How many
interview?
times do I tell you? Come to court
We are coming to court.
and hear it. Why are you asking me?
So because you are the one who is facing the case, sir.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So please see my submissions in court. Simple.
We don't have access to it, unfortunately.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay.
Let's get a word from Lavinia Tannen, who's with us on the phone line. Lavinia, Vijay Mallya made it extremely clear that his submissions can be heard in court and he's not going to make any statements to the press.
Yes, indeed. We did follow him in the beginning as well as the end of the court all the way, and all he had to say was that come to the court as you will and listen to the court hearing, which starts and remains to be started on the 4th of December and approximately till the 14th of December it should wind up and finish, and we would know when extradition, whether Mr. Mallya is extradited or not. But in the end, it did get a little bit on his nerves. He did start, but it did get on his nerves to answer various questions because there are many associated with him. He was actually could have not come to the court. He could have chosen not to have come to the court, but he does, and he did. And despite the fence, we all followed him. So because there's great questions to be answered, but of course the hearing starts on the 4th and expected to go on till the 14th, Simi.
Lavinia, stay on with us. Let's once again listen in to Vijay Mallya as he tried to evade questions from reporters while walking out of the Westminster court.
I am not here to make any predictions. I'm sure you will be at the hearing, so you will see what's going on.
Vijay, is it true the central plank of your defence is that you feel Indian jails are unsuitable for you?
I'm not going to comment. You can hear all the arguments, and there are many, let me assure you.
Ready for your day in court, Mr. Mallya? Have you anything to apologise?
I don't want to make any further comments when the judicial matter is in trouble.
Do you feel this is a politically motivated act,
That's none of your
Vijay?
business.
Vijay, is this a politically motivated act?
So what about allegations about...
I have said all the allegations are baseless and fabricated.
So but there are also talks about the way you bought your mansion in court trial and also...
Really?
Yes, of course, sir.
Good luck. You've done a great
Even
job.
Diageo has put a case against Mr. Mallya. What do you have to say about that?
Come to court and hear it all.
So in the last hearing, the judge also turned away the extradition, talking about the prison conditions. What are your thoughts on that, and do you think that's going to make any difference, sir?
You know, Joseph, I fear for your safety, my friend.
Me too. That's what I'm saying.
I'm a journalist.
Miss
Walking
Mallya, is it
backwards is
true
my
that there were
job.
fresh
Are you happy with
cases,
Are you okay
fresh
with the
withdrawals
court's
going from a bank in April of this year?
Please, I'm not going to say anything else. Please come to court and witness the hearing yourself.
So the state is also planning to have a guest house could be turned into a jail, just to ensure that you don't have that excuse of prison conditions being bad.
Trevor is famous now.
So what do you think about that, sir?
Could we come along for an
How many
interview?
times will I tell you? Come to court
We are coming to court.
and hear it. Why are you asking me?
So because you are the one who is facing the case, sir.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So please see my submissions in court. Simple.
We don't have access to it, unfortunately.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Lavina is with us on the phone line. Lavina, take us through what's happening in the trial, what has happened till now and what's expected.
Okay. Up till now, the defense has now submitted the skeleton arguments that they will present to the prosecution. The prosecution now has to respond to it, and all these will happen amongst them till the 4th of, between them from till the 4th of December. Today basically was all about discussing the what I just mentioned, and also discussing the dates, and to retain 4th of December as the opening day of the full extradition hearing. But there was something interesting that I would like to mention, was that today the barrister who at the QC who is taking up the case of Mr. Mallya was present in person. Up till now, they were her juniors used to come and just discuss all the documentation. So today was a very significant day. Claire Montgomery QC was present, and so was Mr. Watkins from the Crown Prosecution. This was the last case management hearing before it goes to court on the 4th. Also, something interesting that the judge, Claire mentioned, Mr. Montgomery mentioned, and the judge responded to that, was that we must draw a line to the further evidences or any other charges being submitted by India till the 4th of December, because if new charges are submitted, the 4th of December cannot be retained. So they acknowledge the fact that the charges or new evidences keep popping up. So this was quite an interesting interaction, that India keeps bringing in new charges and new evidences, and that needs to stop if the case hearing has to start on the 4th of December. And it is expected that if it starts on the 4th of December, which it should, then it should go on till the 14th intermittently for 2 or 3 hearings, and that will see the end of the extradition case of Mr. Mallya, and we would know by mid-December where he will be, in UK or in India.
Lavina, stay on with us as we try and get more reactions to this story. We'll play out Vijay Mallya's reaction to the press after walking out of court.
So but there are also talks about the way you both mentioned in her court trial, and also...
Really?
Yes, of course, sir.
Good luck. You've done a great
Even
job.
Diageo has put a case against Mr. Mallya. What do you have to say about that?
Come to court and hear it all.
So in the last hearing, the judge also turned away the extradition, talking about the prison conditions. What are your thoughts on that, and do you think that's going to make any difference, sir?
You know, Joseph, I fear for your safety, my friend.
Me too. That's what I'm saying.
I'm a journalist.
Miss
Walking
Mallya, is it
backwards is
true
my
that there were
job.
fresh
Are you happy with
cases,
Are you okay
fresh
with the
withdrawals
court's
going from a bank in April of this year?
Please, I'm not going to say anything else. Please come to court and witness the hearing yourself.
So the state is also planning to have a guest house could be turned into a jail, just to ensure that you don't have that excuse of prison conditions being bad.
Trevor is famous now.
So what do you think about that, sir?
Could we come along for
How
an
many
interview?
times will I tell you? Come to court
We are coming to court.
and hear it. Why are you asking me?
Yeah. So because you are the one who is facing the case, huh?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So please see my submissions in court. Simple.
We don't have access to it, unfortunately.
All right, as we try to connect with the former Kingfisher employees, we'll get another update from Lavinia, who's with us on the phone line from London. Lavinia, what are the terms of India's extradition treaty with the UK?
Hello?
Lavinia, can you hear me?
Hello?
I will try and reconnect with Lavinia there. On your screen, visuals of Vijay Mallya walking out of court. We have Neetu Shukla, who's a former employee of Kingfisher Airlines, who's with us on the phone line. Neetu, thanks so much for speaking to India today. How do you respond to these visuals of Vijay Mallya openly walking around London? He's being asked questions about the case has been filed against him and the extradition proceedings that are underway, and he seems to be completely cool. He doesn't really care about the questions. He's also said that he's not going to speak to the press. He'll only make submissions before the court. His attitude seems to be very calm, relaxed, even a little aggressive when the journalists question him. How do you respond to these visuals?
I actually have a very different take on this because I believe he was not supposed to appear in court today. His presence was not required. But the fact that he appeared in court on a day when his presence is not required actually displays his nervousness. So I'm sure he's feeling certain amount of heat, and that's the reason he wanted to be there where the action was, and that's the reason he made his presence felt.
All right.
At least that
you
is
make
the
a very
hope
good point. You're saying that his presence actually wasn't required. His presence there shows that he's nervous about the proceedings that are underway. Neetu, what's the kind of, what's the kind of response that other Kingfisher employees have towards Vijay Mallya, somebody who's wanted in India for defaulting on bank loans worth 9,000 crores? He's openly roaming around the streets of London, enjoying life normally.
See, we all initially started with a lot of hope when the whole thing had started. But the fact that these proceedings and the evidence that is presented for a very small amount of just 950 crores. That is the case that we filed for extradition, whereas the entire scam goes to way above thousands of crores, and the entire case is not presented in its entirety. It's slightly sad for us because we don't think that as strong a case is presented as is possible. Because I believe that a much stronger case would have been presented had all the lapses been clubbed in together. So there is hope, but there's also a little bit of skepticism, considering that we've not really put our best foot forward.
All right, Neetu, thanks so much for speaking to India Today.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.